Es scheint so zu sein, dass diese riesen Schuldenpaket, was Regierung Merz machen möchte mit Deutschland, eigentlich gegen die Regeln von der EU sein. Wird das aber was ausmachen. Und wird auch über diese angebliche neue Justizministerin reden. Ihren Namen weiß ich auch nicht, ist mir auch egal, es ist alles Gleiche. That's the two things we're going to talk about today in today's Insanity Report. It is Wednesday. It's Wednesday, the 30th of April, 2025. Tomorrow's a holiday here in Germany. Awesome. So no work tomorrow. It's going to be walking with the dogs tomorrow. That's the deal. This is the Insanity Report for today for Germany, where we're going to talk about the EU rules. So, listen, living in Germany, the number one excuse that I've heard from politicians as to why they can't do their fucking job, why they can't ever do anything to benefit the German people or the taxpayers is, well, the EU says we can't do it like that. The EU says we have to take every immigrant from every country and every place without checking them, without paperwork, nothing. We have to do it. The EU says we can't do shit, guys. Sorry, guys. We can't do anything about it. It's the EU. That's their thing. That's their whole shtick. They love it. That's why they signed this WHO pandemic treaty thing, right? Because they can then say, well, we're going to have to fucking force people to take vaccinations, and we're going to have to fucking lock people down, take away their rights. But then we can go, guys, it's not our fault. It's the WHO. The WHO said. And they work together with the EU, and the EU and the WHO said, so that's it, guys. We can't do shit. Except, of course, when it comes to things that they don't want to be restricted by. So it turns out that the rule is you can indebt your country to 60% of your GDP, right? That's it, no more. That's an EU rule that Germany, for example, was one of the front runners on. They wanted this rule to become, because of Greece, I think that's what it was. But Germany demanded frontline demands on the EU. We have to make this rule that countries can no longer indebt themselves to more than 60% of their GDP. Now, analysts have calculated this Merz Schuldenpaket, right? And they said, well, it looks like that's going to be approximately 90% of the GDP. Oh, that's 30% too much, guys, right? If the rule is 60%, and Germany was the one who wanted to make that rule, then they can't make it 90%. No matter what they want to do. And of course the reason is, well, it's Ukraine and we have to support Ukraine until at least 2028. And, so that's why they asked the EU for an exemption, right? So they know they're getting ready to break the EU rules, which I thought were holy to them, because they sure as hell are when it's anything that the citizens want to get done. Then if the EU said no, guys, then I'm sorry, then that's the end of the story. I know you elected us, but we can't do jack shit about it, guys. I'm sorry, it's the EU, right? Now, they asked the EU for an exemption. They'll probably get it, right? They'll probably get it, because Germany is still one of the highest payers into the EU. See, they've got their stooge, Ursula von der Leyen, the corrupt politician that should be in prison, or at least be being investigated or in handcuffs or something. No, she shouldn't be the leader of the European Commission thing. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be her. Right, but she is, and she's CDU, and so she's their buddy, right? And she's gonna go, yeah, for you guys, we'll do it. It's like mafia. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you, You're so good, Germany. We love you guys in Germany. All right, so you guys get to do whatever you want. You don't have to follow the rules, unless it's the rules that you want to impose on your people, and then you can hide behind us and say that we did it because we're untouchable. Nobody elected us. Nobody elected us to do anything. We can do everything. We're untouchable, guys. That's how they look at themselves, right? So Germany's going to go 90% of their GDP in debt for basically their reason is, well, because Russia's at the doorstep and Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. So for another country, right? And for the illusion of a war that's probably never going to happen. Russia's never coming here unless Germany antagonizes them so much that they have no choice. That's a possibility, but I don't think even that's going to happen, right? It's clear that Russia has no intention of attacking any EU country or any fucking NATO country, but we've been over this 1,000 times. Either way, that's the shit they want to sell us. They want to scare the public into believing that Putin will be here any minute and that they need money. That's always how they do it, though, right? They always need money to solve every fucking problem. And a lot of problems could be solved by making policies and laws and following them. How about that? How about the government stop acting like a bank to fucking credit every fucking problem there is and kind of like kick it down the road until another administration? How about they actually start doing their job and making solid legislation, laws, rules, and regulations and sticking to those things? How about that? Maybe that would work. Maybe stop paying NGOs that say they're NGOs, but they're actually GOs, right? Maybe stop doing that. You know, maybe stop pissing away all the money on letting a bunch of illegal immigrants come into the country and suck off the fucking government tit that we pay into and they never do forever and ever and ever. How about not doing that? How about not spending all the money on housing and containers and places and things and lawsuits and shit, all having to do with illegal immigration into the country? How about we stop that and save money there? No, we don't want to save money. We want to get more money of your money to piss away into the wind because we are not accountable or responsible for anything that we do, right? And so they now want to indebt the country 90% of its GDP, which is absolutely horrifying. The dumbest thing you could ever do because it's got no goal. See, when you get a credit, you hope to make more money out of having that credit than you did than the credit cost, right? That's an investment. That's what the government should be doing. If they need money to invest because that investment's going to make double the money they invested, then okay, cool. You know what I mean? Cool. But they are throwing all the money into a bottomless pit. One of them, many bottomless pits. One of them being the Ukraine, the other one being these NGOs. These NGOs, nor Ukraine, are bringing any return on investment. It's ROI. It's pretty simple. I'm not a fucking economist, but I know that, right? They are not bringing an ROI. They're bringing no returns. It's just endless pissing away of the money. That's why they need to constantly get credit. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that they're spending their credit money on are things that are not bringing any returns. And that's not the right way to do fucking business, people. That's dumber than shit, right? That's dumber than shit. You might as well throw piles of money into the fucking fireplace, you know what I'm saying? And just let it burn. That's about it. So these people are getting ready to fucking ruin the country for the future kids that are going to have to pay this massive debt. You know what I'm saying? Paying this debt back is not going to go without more taxes, more higher taxes for the people that are working their ass off already. You know what I mean? And that's what they're going to do. And they're going to do it against the EU rules. Because you know what? Fuck those rules. Because it's we don't agree with that. Because we want to spend more money. And we don't agree with that. So we're going to fucking fuck those rules. But when it comes to stuff the voters want, like a stop on immigration. And let me tell you something just for the fucking benefit here, okay? Just to make it clear. Nobody in Germany is asking for a reduction in immigration, less illegal immigration, less irregular immigration, maybe a little bit more deportations. No. What we want is a stop on immigration from countries outside the EU for now until this shit gets sorted. That's what everybody wants. Let's make it clear. So the government and the people in the government, like Friedrich Merz, can ramble on all they want about how, we're going to do a great reduction. We're going to do more controls at the border. And, oh, God, nobody is buying that shit and nobody gives a fuck. It doesn't mean anything. You might as well say you're doing nothing because that's not what we want. We want you to actually do something about it. Stop it. Stop it in its tracks right now. No more. No more planes. No more trains. No more automobiles. No more boats. Nothing. That's it. It's the end. That's it. Nobody's getting in from outside the EU. That's the end of it for now. We've way overplayed our hand on this, and we want that shit to stop today. That's actually what we want. Okay? Just to make it clear. Okay? So, none of those things are possible because the EU has this law and this rule, and you got to do it this way, and now they want to make a new law that says you got to take your car to the fucking inspection every year instead of every 2 years because it's 10 years older, and blah, 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 blah. And they want to regulate the climate, and they want to regulate how much how hot you can heat your house and how many rooms you can heat and how many people can live in how many room house. And it's complete socialism, communism, totalitarianism all wrapped into one. That's what the EU wants. So everything that the people want, everything that give the people any freedom or any extra freedom or, comes up for the people's rights, not just minorities or trans people or illegal immigrants, no, but the regular people that pay the taxes, for those whose rights should be protected by all these laws, these politicians, these constitutions, these regulations. No, we want the thing to start working like it's supposed to work. But then it's like, well, sorry guys, the EU, we have to do what the EU says. Okay, so that means you can't take out this giant debt that's over 90% of your GDP. You have to reduce it down to 60. Plain and simple. So whatever 60% is, that's what you get. That's it. No more. Is it a fucking rule or is it not a rule? What is it? It's only a rule when it's for Greece or when it's for other countries, but it's just like the war thing, right? It's just like the war thing. It's like, oh my God, you can't fucking shoot at civilians unless it's America. You can't just invade a country. You can't just, unless it's America, right? Because America just invades wherever the fuck they want. Not even, it's just presidents going, we're going to invade there. Not even Congress. You know what I'm saying? Which is the way it's supposed to be. There's the rules of war and Völkerrecht and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Except when Israel is doing it. Then it's like, guys, it's Israel, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They want to get Hamas. What are they going to do? Everybody, the easiest way is just to kill everybody in Gaza. Come on, guys, you got to understand that. See, these rules and these laws and these things that all these central bureaucrat institutions and organizations all set up and make up, they don't apply to, let's put it this way, they only apply to the things that they want it to apply to. They sell to everybody that, it's rules for everybody and everybody, nobody's above the law. And these rules and these laws, these are in order to protect democracy, to protect democracy. Yes, unless they want to break the rules, right? Then they're like, oh, well, these rules are stupid. Fuck you. And that's what Germany's doing right now. But the lesson in this, and then we're done for today, right? Oh, well, actually, we're not. The lesson in this is that you see, people, the EU is not functioning at all like it should, right? And actually, if the country, like I've been saying, if the country does not want to abide by these EU rules, they can just do so because they're still sovereign countries. They've just sold you that they're not sovereign countries anymore, right? They've just sold you this idea that we are ausgeliefert to the EU. We're not. The politicians want you to believe that. But it gets obvious when the politicians want you to believe that, but they don't live up to it themselves. When they go, well, this rule doesn't really, we don't like this 60% thing, guys. That's going to make it tough to keep pissing away money into Zelensky's pockets. I don't know. It doesn't really work for us. So fuck that rule. We're not going to do that. We're going to do what we want to do because we're a sovereign country. Oh, now you're sovereign. I get it. See, these people's bullshit is completely illegitimate, right? None of their shit is worth taking seriously because it's all BS. It's all smoke and mirrors. They're all lying, corrupt motherfuckers that will do anything they can to hold on to power, to retain power, to keep power, and to give you none. This idea of governments by the people, for the people, the governments don't like that, right? They like it being, they're the rulers and you are the peasants. That's what they want. That's how they act. That's how they treat us. You know what I'm saying? That's how they treat us. That's what they want. And if we want it any differently, we are going to have to force the issue. We're going to have to make the right choices when voting. We're going to have to call out these people constantly when they do these kind of things. We're going to have to start holding people to account. And we're going to have to start forcing people to do their jobs to make those people being held to account. And if we as people are not ready to do that kind of stuff, these fucking people are going to run over us. It's just that simple. Now, let's talk about the new possible Minister of Justice in Germany. She looks like she's 15. I think she's 37. I forgot what her name is. It's not important because, like I said in my video yesterday, these people are all the same, right? They're all automatons working to make the status quo keep working, right? working to keep the machine going in the same direction as it is. That's all of their jobs. But this lady is especially horrifying for a justice minister position because she is one of those people that thinks words are violence, right? She's one of those people that believes that, that everybody should just start turning each other in for saying mean things on the internet, and people that are about hate speech. And she points out the organization called Hate Aid, which is some, again, NGO that involves themselves in censoring the public, for the government. That's basically their job. And she points them to the great Hate Aid organization, and they're going to help you people, you poor victims of hate speech and internet abuse. Oh, you poor people. We're going to help you, and you don't have to go to the cops anymore for crimes. You can just go to Hate Aid. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. No, if it's a crime, then the police need to do their job and investigate. It can't be that fucking Hate Aid decides what is a crime and what isn't, and what the punishments for those crimes are going to be, which most of the time include them just banning your account or removing content from the internet because they call up whoever the provider is and say, well, we are Hate Aid and we think this, and that's the end. They are being paid by the government, right? Let's not be stupid. But anyway, this justice minister, this woman who is supposed to be the minister of justice, is already in a negative position because she believes that words are violent. She's woke. She says all the woke shit. I've heard her talk. She's a woke moron that shouldn't be in any position of power whatsoever, especially not the justice system, okay? This woman's going to be a problem. If you thought Nancy Faeser was a problem, this bitch is getting ready to tell you guys something new, all right? It's going to be like England, where people are going to jail over Facebook posts and shit. I'm telling you. That's what this woman's going to be working on. Her biggest problem is not crime, not knife criminality by Syrian fucking illegal immigrants. No. Their main objective is going to be hate speech in the internet and regulating the internet and censoring people. That's what she perceives her job to be. Trust me. That's what she looks at her job to be. If she proves me wrong, fantastic. I'll eat my words right here on the show. I'll eat them right there. I don't think she's going to, right? I'll eat my words if she does anything different. But I think that's going to be their focus, because all of these crazy elites, from the WEF all the way down to the EU to the local politicians here in Germany, they've all been caught saying things like the number one problem in society today is mis and disinformation and hate speech. And they're all are pointed in the same direction. That's why I said it doesn't matter who's sitting in the chair of what ministry. It matters who, it matters if they're not the same puppets as all these people there. It doesn't matter. They're all the same people. They all have the same goal. More restrictions for you and me, more power and money for them. That's it, right? And all this mis and disinformation shit and hate speech and shit, that's all mechanisms to be able to shut the people up. And it's already working. And people need to stand up and say no. Go find out what your rights are and make use of them every day, all day, right up to the border, as much as you can, to keep prodding these people, these fucking morons that think words are violence. These are all Kevin Kunert people, right? Little pussy wussy people that can't handle life. And the other people being put into power, they're the people that are going to be able to decide about the justice system in this country. Great job, voters of the CDU. You guys did fucking great. Thank you for that. We'll see how much more restrictions we're going to have to live through for the next 4 years. Great job, guys. All right, guys, that's it for today. It is the last day of this week. Well, actually, no, Friday, there'll be another Insanity Report on Friday. Tomorrow, no. Like I said, tomorrow's a holiday. If you guys want to help me out, then you can do the free thing and send my content out by reposting, liking, whatever you can, thumbs upping, retweeting, the whole thing. All the things that you can do for free to elevate my content out to other places and out to other people. Do it, please. Help me out. That's free for you. Doesn't cost you anything, and super much helps me. So please do that and send them out. And yeah, that's about all I got for today. All right, take it easy.